If God had long hair and a goatee, and if his eyes were pretty glazed, if he looked spaced out, would you buy his story? Would you believe he had an eye infection? And yeah.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Atheist Experience. We are live. Today is January 11th, 2009. Is it Andrew from Kansas City, Kansas?
Hey, how you doing, Matt?
Good. You're calling to tell me I'm wrong.
Well, not necessarily. I was watching one of your YouTube videos, and yeah, you said you believed in an objective reality, and you said you had a unique definition for it. So I'd love to hear what your definition for it was, and what's your reasoning behind it.
You, Matt.
Okay.
What?
Oh, I was teasing Matt that his past is coming back to haunt him. Everything that Matt has ever said, now he has to justify.
Yeah.
I'll let you get away with anything.
So now, obviously, I can't remember everything I've ever said or anything else. One more time, what did I say and what's your question?
Okay, so you said you believed in an objective reality, and
Yes.
You had a very unique definition for that belief. And so I'd like to hear what that definition was and like what your reasoning was behind it.
Okay, I don't know for sure if I know what I meant at the time by a unique definition for objective reality. I believe there's an objective reality, period. And I think that my definition would be pretty much of objective reality would be pretty much the same as anybody else's. I don't believe that it's anything that I can necessarily demonstrate or to any degree of absolute certainty, but it's what I believe to be true. There's only a couple of possibilities. I obviously exist in some sense, whether I exist in the reality that I'm experiencing and that you perceive me to be, if in fact you're there. This is kind of the problem of whether or not there are other minds, is what we're getting to. Because I could be the only mind and everything could be just fed to me as a figment of my imagination, the brain in a vat thing. However, I have no evidence that I am a brain in a vat, and I am forced, whether I'm a brain in a vat or whether or not I'm actually experiencing the reality that I perceive myself to be experiencing, I'm forced to act as though that's the objective reality. I have no reason to go beyond this. And so just for practical reasons or via an application of Occam's razor, I'm willing to accept that I'm experiencing an objective reality. There are other reasons or other things that lead me to that conclusion and lead me to believe that there are, in fact, other minds also experiencing this objective reality. And that relates to creativity and the ability of minds to come up with things that I hadn't, at least consciously, considered or thought of.
But if you go with the other tact and you say we don't have an objective reality and everything that we see is sort of made up potentially or is subject to some other person's will, that's a giant rabbit hole, right? You can't conclude anything about the world or predict the future or anything, and so it's kind of an imploding black hole.
Well, it's kind of along the lines of you then become the creator of everything that's ever been done,
you
beautiful.
live in your own fantasy world.
And if that's not the case, if you are along the brain in a vat, there is some objective reality somewhere where you exist, even if it's the reality where you are the brain in a vat.
I think
that objective reality exists, and that's the reason why I accept it.
All right. Well, that's basically what I probably believe in, but my whole I guess beef with objective reality is the whole absolute certainty thing. And can you? I don't really know if you could believe in an objective reality without.
I reject
proof.
I reject absolute certainty across the board. The only place where absolute certainty applies, as far as I'm concerned, is esoteric knowledge and labels. That's it. Everything else is belief to some degree of certainty, short of absolute.
Well, if you're going to call like a reality objective, don't you have to have absolute knowledge of that, or am I off?
It is a certainty that somewhere there is a reality that is the or an objective reality. What I'm saying is that my belief that I am currently experiencing objective reality, that the reality that I'm experiencing is an accurate representation of the objective reality, that belief is something that I hold to a high degree of certainty, but not absolute certainty.
All right. Well, I pretty much agree with you then. I was
Okay.
like a little confused about like what your definition was. So
Sure.
thanks.
No, thanks. Appreciate the call. And I'm glad we got it over relatively quickly before everybody fell asleep.
These topics can be kind of
Yeah.
heavy duty.
This is something that definitely isn't for everybody.
If God had long hair